and Wayne's very low on those and has to have them reprinted, and this is a great opportunity. And Wayne currently and has not had any internet. And so, you know, that's a good sign of a partner when somebody jumps in and says, I'll do it. So thank you on that for being willing to partner. All right, Marietta, do you have any?
I've been working on some grants and would like to thank our chairman, Caroline McIntosh, for all her help and assistance and direction. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. And I'd like to say thank you to you also, Caroline, for all the work that you're doing to help the businesses and the nonprofits in this community.
Oh,
Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. This is a time everybody needs a hand up and, you know, this until we can get through this. So thank you so much. Brian.
Not too much. We're just waiting for this Sonoma grant to finalize and see where we're at for building trails next year.
And have they gotten any comments on that? Because I believe the BLM has asked for clarification on at least some of the 3 that were turned in from the county. Do you know if Jose's gotten any clarification emails?
I know with the BLM and what we're doing, we're a partner with the BLM and the Forest Service. So they put in the requests. Basically, the trailhead parking will be built on the BLM land and the trails will be on Forest Service. So the joint groups, I haven't heard anything like that. I know that this is our second attempt at putting in this grant, and we're following up with all the ideas that the board had about 5 years ago. And we've completed everything they wanted, hoping to have good luck with that.
So what was the total ask for this NIPLMA grant?
1.4 million.
Okay, great. Well, and then in the end, with these projects, what is the goal for, or is this like the goal for the number of bikes you own, the N+1, but what is the goal for the number of miles that we're trying to achieve in trails?
Well, this project will pretty much put in enough trails around access from Ely to Ward Campground. And it'll actually buff out the Ski Hill Road. And there'll be quite a few things that are accompanied with this that isn't trails. But this overall project will be about another 40 to 50 miles of trails, plus our 20, so that puts us at a really good number for accessible trails right here in town. And I feel like with trails, if you want to be like a real a draw with just mountain biking, you need a little bit over 100, and you need to be constantly talking about building more to keep people active in the area, wanting to come out.
Okay. So it never ends. We always need
I know.
Yeah, so that's wonderful.
I think it gets to a point where you go back and start rebuilding stuff. And
Right.
You start building jumps.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much. Anything else, Brian?
no, that's it.
And Kurt, are you on? I don't know, I think he's off.
It's off then?
Yeah, he's not listed, so.
Okay.
All right, and just for my report, thank you everyone who's been working, all the entities with the 14 or 15 grants that were written in a very short time. And hopefully we're very successful for that. They were very narrow parameters, and hopefully with the relationships we've created with Travel Nevada as far as really getting the work done. All of these granting projects, one of the questions is, how successful have you been at managing grants? And you know that if you haven't been successful, you don't get the priority. So we're working our past deeds. All right, so just want to say thank you to everyone. And number 2 on the old business discussion only agenda items for the next board meeting. I have, if we could make another quick stab at the facilities guide and more progress, and review of the strategic plan.
Okay.
Because, you know, where we're outdoor rec, and we'll know about the grant, so that will give us a lot more to talk about.
Okay.
Ian, do you have any items? Marietta, any agenda items? Brian?
No, not right now.
We'd love a SNPLMA grant update if there's something quickly like that. That'd be great.
I'll talk with Aaron and Jose in the next couple of weeks and see where we're really at with what thinking's gonna happen.
Okay. And do you have any agenda items?
Not right now.
Okay, at that point, we will have made our second payment to loan seekers. And I don't have that right, it's in my stack about when the first deliverables are.
We should be seeing the photographs and the raw video within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, so if we could add that on the agenda so that we could view those,
That'd be cool.
it'd be wonderful that we could have a little show and tell with what they've done. It's a,
Yep.
major investment, which is great. Oh, and albeit a bargain investment, so comparatively. All right, Roman number 4, public comment. Wayne?
Let me go real quick. Yeah, just want everybody to know that this Friday from 1 to 5, we are having trick or treat the streets. And it sounds like the weatherman's gonna cooperate with us, 65 degrees.
Wow.
And then, the chamber is taking the lead on the Christmas parade. And it's gonna be, the theme's gonna be a Toyland Christmas. Mary come across with 28 different selections, and that's what they chose, so
Really?
I think it's gonna be outstanding, so. And thank you.
And so the parade will be December 5th,
December 5th, yeah, 4 o'clock,
and then the lighting of the tree.
right. Approximately 4:45, somewhere around there.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You bet.
Any other public comment, Maureen? Can you come up and,
Oh,
so they
I
can
have to
see your
come
pretty
up?
face? Yeah.
all right. My question is, what's gonna happen about the Christmas dinner at the convention center?
Okay, so that is another thing where Pastor Bob came in just the other day, and we are trying to figure that out on like what the best way is, because I mean, we're truly talking about, a higher risk population coming in, but a service that is so essential, that there's, the answer's in there somewhere, and I'm glad Bob came in the other day, so we're working towards trying to make it happen.
Any other public comment? George, do you have any? Okay. If we can make sure we adjust the camera, we'll get your handsome face.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Madam Chairman, on your agenda item, Roman numeral 2.4, you were considering ratifying bills, but there was nothing in the packet for a member of the public to review. When I made out my request for a meeting packet, I requested a copy of everything that was to be presented before the board. We've got a problem here. There's nothing in the front. I brought that up once before, and I want a copy of the bills, please. Madam Chairman, earlier this month I observed several vans parked at the auxiliary building behind the center. There were lights on in several of the rooms. I'd like to know what was going on. And were you housing people in that building? There was quite a crowd for several days.
That was the bike testers.
Did they pay for the rental of the building?
They weren't staying there.
You're chewing up my time, but I'd like to know. Madam Chairman, the minutes do not contain any of the written requests for information that I've given the board over the last several meetings. I've not received any answers. I'm resubmitting my request for information that goes back to May 26, 2020. And with all the money that this board has given the golf course, I want to know what the increase in play has been for the last 4 years. Not been anything. I also have something that went back to May 26, 2020. I've not received any information in regards to Mr. Ed Spear having, being a contractor with his current rec board, whether he has a business license, a city license, commercial location, or a home occupation. Again, I'm gonna resubmit that. On June 27th, I submitted a picture of numerous vehicles at the Silver State. I wanna know if they've got a business license. There's still activity at that location. October 1st, September 20th. I wanna know if they have a business license. I get hammered by the city for having different RVs on my property when they're not being rented. Either we have rules and regulations or we don't. We need to have some answers, so I'm resubmitting these and I'll give them to Judy and she can date stamp them, but I'm asking for some answers. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Any other public comment? All right, hearing none, a motion for adjournment. Ian is moved. Do I hear a second?
I think
I think Marietta's heard, I heard her. All right, all in favor? Aye, opposed, motion carries, we'll see you next month. Thank you all. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, good seeing you guys.
You too.
Thank you.
Regarding your request about the bills, the actual bills are not gonna be distributed
Tim and
in
Donna.
the packet.
Did you take a night
They
off
are
from the chain
available
gang?
to view, like you could go in and view
There's a
them.
list, that's what I wanna see is the list.
Yeah, we've taken a few days.
Right, and you can go in and view that,
Should be in the packet.
Donna, did you hear
They're looking
that
at it,
the
and that's what I
value of
want,
homes
whatever they're
has just
getting.
gone up in our
right,
neighborhood?
and that is what you're getting, but we're not gonna hand out bills, like
Well, I
actual
want
bills
to.
with
I didn't
account
ask for
numbers.
that. I didn't ask for that.
And then he
Okay.
did neighbor shaming.
Similar to what they had there. Check number so-and-so to so-and-so for this
If it
amount.
works, right?
And if I have a question, I'll go in and check the billing.
Okay,
Let it be known
Okay.
for the record.
That's all I
I
was
never
asking
did
for.
that.
right,
And I used to get them before.
right,
There
but
seemed
they
to be a
have
problem.
been giving
Hey,
like the
so
list
speaking
of the
that real
bills.
quick,
Not to me.
So did you talk to Dave about
Okay,
caps for
well,
your
those,
post?
those are available,
still
but
in the
again, we're not gonna get the
public
actual copies of the bill.
He was
I'll make
supposed
sure
to
that
be
you're
done
getting the
by-
list and everything,
I
but,
didn't ask for a copy of the bill.
Since I've been here,
He just didn't
those bills
order
have
them
never been
sometime
included
They ordered the wrong one.
Mhm.
in anything.
Oh.
Right.
And that was
So he
essentially the
said,
practice that I
"Have you got the bill?"
adopted when, I came in. It was
So,
like, it was
he said,
never
"I
at
think
any
you've
point in
got
time
all
to
of
be
it."
ever.
he's just
So
wanting the
you and
list
they got
of
back
the
and said,
bills,
"Okay, now
and
I
so,
can
And the amount.
Sweetheart.
the list of the bills, so we'll look into that, but you
They'll
can't
fill up with
have the bills, you
snow
can
and
just have what
rain
goes out in the packet.
Yeah, I
Well,
feel like
as
we've
dry as it's been, you'd
been
think
talking,
in
because the
Vegas.
request has obviously been out for a while, but I feel like in conversation with
Okay,
them,
thank
we've
you.
never, we've never supplied that to anybody.
But
You
you
know.
have. I've been here longer than you have.
Well, I'm just saying, in the 2.5 years that I've been here,
Well,
it's
that-
never been.
I've been asking for 2.5 years.
So-
Time we changed.
Oh, I always learn.
I'll double check on it,
Yeah,
George,
it's-
but,
I get very
yeah, we can't
excited.
have the bills out there.
Yeah, I
It
always
just
I'm not asking for a copy of the bills, only of the list and the amount. And if I have a question, then I'll come forward and I'll let you know.
Cool.
Very
And then
good.
as for the bill, that was the bike testers that were out here for the testing. And they were using the facility for storage and taking pictures and things like that, but they were in lodging properties that were paying room tax. So they weren't staying in our facility, or they were keeping their bikes in there and they were taking pictures of them and
Okay,
stuff
where
like
were they
that.
staying?
Somebody snuck.
They stayed at the jailhouse,
Oh.
they stayed at one of the Airbnbs
Yeah. So
that
how's
pays
your
room
train?
tax, and then one of the other hotels in town. So
Which hotel?
we had them spread out amongst like 3 places. So I think one of them on their own stayed at the Prospector, because that was their own preference. But most people were between the jailhouse and between the Airbnb. And that was their request too, for COVID safety, that they needed to have like a singular location that everybody could kind of come together, that wasn't a public space that they could modify to be 6 feet apart. So that was all part of the bike testing thing. So,
Okay.
okay. But yeah, nobody's nobody's squatting in our storage unit.
That's what they say, just making sure.
Yeah, nope, totally.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chatchis reporting.